Hi guys, Gareth here from Horsemanship. I'm working on trailer loading with Annie here. Annie was a very challenging horse to trailer load when she first came to us. Well, actually before she came to us, I went to work with her for trailer loading. We got her in, but it took a long time and she was very nervous. So I want to just talk about how to prepare a horse for trailer loading when you don't have a trailer available to practice all the time. Our trailer's parked very neatly, well, the trailer we have access to is parked very neatly over there, which makes it a mission to go get it hooked up and moved out every time we want to practice trailer loading. So we do simulations. How I pick up the simulation is based on the reasons horses struggle to trailer load. The first reason is the most obvious reason. Prey animals live out in the open. They want as many escape options as possible. So when you ask them to go into a cave, predators live in caves and they kind of have the feeling that we're just ordering takeaway and want to put them in a box and take them home and eat them. So it's a completely natural thing for a horse to not be so keen on a trailer. Now when I hear people talk about horses being, their horse is claustrophobic. There's no such thing as individual horses that are claustrophobic. Every single horse is claustrophobic. Small tight space means they can't escape from predators. So we have to address that and get them over the spaces that we introduce them to. So that is the biggest thing, is the cave. Now the cave being the biggest thing means we don't start with the cave that we're going to walk into. The first thing really is the ramp, and I use a little bridge to simulate a ramp. The reason the horses worry about a ramp, and I know in the States they normally just use a step-up trailer, and that makes it a lot easier. But if you've got a ramp on your trailer, that feels like hollow ground to a horse. And horses are not keen on walking on hollow ground for obvious reasons. They might fall into massive holes. So my first thing is I'm going to have it go over a bridge. Now, all of this assumes you've got your basics in place. You can send you can back up your horse, you can send them on a circle, you can address their hindquarters and the forequarters. The stuff they've covered in the Horsemanship Natural Horse Management certification. Or if you've been through one of our clinics or been through lessons, those absolute basics are critical to have good before you get to here. For example, I use my send on a circle. Now her forequarters are a little close. I can get her forequarters across here. Get them all lined up. Now I can use my backup to stop her blowing too far forward. I don't want her rushing through here. Just going a little far backwards. One step at a time. Like that. Now obviously this doesn't have much of the claustrophobic aspects. Even the poles that I'm using on the side to guide her, that doesn't really have any impact on the claustrophobia being trapped in from the side. And she has an exit in the front. So I'm just breaking it down into individual components. Now, when you're in the trailer, you're going to want to be able to back her out. First of all, I'm going to let her feel like a winner here, let her stand up here. Give her a rub, then I'm going to back her out. She can safely feel she can come out of the trailer. Now that is pretty decent, so I'm going to want to bring in a little more height on these poles to simulate the sides a little better. You guys are going to have to be patient with me for the construction part. Make sure I don't pull any poles over on her while I'm getting things set up. Now the one aspect that I'm a little bit nervous of introducing on my simulation is overhead. So I would rather get all this really good, and then when I have a trailer, practice the overhead, rather than the possibility of having a pole fall on her. Which, the other aspect we've dealt with her is anxiety. So I don't want an anxious horse having experience of going under something and knocking something over because she jumps. And then we've got an extra thing to work on to get her over. Rather avoid it happening in the first place. So this will be a progressive thing. So I'm going to get it progressively higher and higher on the sides. I'm going to have a look again, and I want to work from both sides when I'm practicing this. Right. Done. I don't want it blowing forward, which is why I backed her up there. I want to slowly go through. That's how we know she's thinking about it and isn't just blowing through something that's scared. She's like, well, I've got pressure on me to move through, so I'm just going to get this over and done with as soon as possible. If I can get it to stand, it comes down, and she's relaxed in there. Now, obviously, this is not as scary as a trailer, but practicing with this is going to make it less of a step when you get to a trailer involved. Okay, back all the way up. Now, I use my scent, but if you're going to be having a lot of people trailer them, you're going to want your typical trailer loading in place as well, where you lead them in. Have a stop. So my next stage might be a crossbar, an extra set of poles up. Again, I'm not going to put anything over the top for this, but you could actually make a really sturdy structure with some nice high poles planted in the ground and covered with shade net or canvas that you can practice the trailer loading on your own. Great guys, I hope that little short video is helpful. See you guys soon. Cheers.